Okay. The phone is not obeying me. It's freezing up as I thought it would. Okay, let's see. Okay, now we just take it down. Take the song down. I think the music is still playing. Okay. This is why I've got to upgrade my phone. Bear with me, family. Bear with me. Okay, I think we're clear now. I'm going to come over to where the comments are. But first, let me see if my attempt at doing something different is successful. You know, you're never going to excel. You're never going to do good in this life unless you're willing to take chances and trust in your work ethic. Now, even ahead of time, before I'm going to open the screen where you can see me, but even before then, let me know how the sound is. Let me know how the sound is. And I'm really stressing that because I'm doing something different today. I just want to see how this works. Okay. Okay, in a few seconds, you will see, and we will get on with the topic. We'll definitely get on with the topic. I see 12 people here. Please, my 12 people family, my 12 tribes. There'll be 24 and 48 tribes here soon. I just want to see how this is working. And this should pop in right now. We got 16 people in. Okay, that's good. I'm holding through my obligation, my commitment to do a show 10 o'clock every morning. I may move the time back, but while we can, just let me know. What is this show? Let me get to the comments. Once this screen opens up, and then the next thing I want to know is if you can hear me loud and clear. I'm not at the comment section yet in the chat room, but I will be there. This phone is working mighty slow, but I got patience. There we go. There we go. You're getting a live show on the rooftop in one. And I can't even look at my screen because there's a slight delay. Let me know if you can hear the sound. I'm going to hit the comment area. And that's going to take a second to come in. Now, it's really hot out here. I tried to put my little rag over the phone without blocking out the sight, but it kept falling. Because that will help. This phone might overheat. Let me know in the comment section how the sound is. Just let me know. Because I have it rigged. I don't want to say the N word, but I rigged it up on the phone. Yes, yes, I see Sugar P, Kwame, Master Glam. I don't really want to touch this phone that much. Okay, they're blowing behind me. Can you hear me? Okay, I see somebody said I sound great. Okay, thank you, Master Glam. I rigged it up right. I'm not going to look into the screen. This is live. This is not a rooftop that's recorded. I have one of my cameras here to do so. But I said I'm running out of time. I want to catch everything just right. So I said, you know what, instead of me being downstairs inside because the power's going on and off, there are people building apartment buildings here, apartment buildings there, a lot of building going on, a lot of motorcycles going by and trucks. But I'm the one that's closest to the mic, so you should hear me more than anything else. In the chance that this cuts off, give me about 3 minutes and I will go to a cooler spot downstairs, however long it takes for the phone to cool off. And see, I want to put this, I really do, because I know this phone is going to cut off. It's under. Okay, now I don't want to block myself out now. I should have really brought some rubber bands. I really should have brought some. I have a ton of rubber bands downstairs, and I would have hooked this up just nice. Unless I hold it like this, which I'm not going to do. Let's just roll. Let's just roll. It's all going to be good. Not everybody is on the same frequency. We've heard this before. We hear people saying this all the time. And they may say it, but do they really know what it means? Now, I'm not saying I know the full depth of it, because whatever we talk about in this world, there are levels to it. So you can visit a scripture or a saying with someone else who might be an elder or someone who is deeper into this world and their journey, or a little further along the journey. They can offer you a different perspective on what frequencies mean or what anything means. You can have a recipe for a chocolate cake And everybody will say, oh man, this is the best chocolate cake I ever had. And you know it. And nobody else's chocolate cake can outdo yours. But guess what? You take a little vacation, you go to a different country, and you taste the chocolate cake of somebody else. And you say, wait a second, I thought mine was the best, but this one's better in its own way. And the person who made it, whether it's a male or female, let's just say it's a lady, she was so kind to give you the ingredients. And there's an ingredient in there that's something that you would have never thought of. But guess what? You add this into your recipe, just a little bit. And you keep doing it with a little more to find the right amounts. And guess what? That lady was correct. She had an ingredient in her chocolate cake that you never thought of. Not that you have to copy people, but you saw where you can incorporate this one ingredient in your chocolate cake and make it better. You see? So this is what we need to do. Instead of talking about people, gossiping about people, being nosy and spreading stuff that's not true or partially true, taking the truth and wrapping it around and putting a little icing on it to make it sweet. Why don't we look within? Why don't we look within and seek to raise the frequency and the vibration of ourselves? Those are words that sound so deep and so fancy. All you got to do is overhear somebody say, yes, I'm going to increase my frequency and my vibration. And they have nothing but hate in their heart for their neighbor. They have nothing but they despise the progress, the potential of the people around them, instead of saying, hey, go higher, go as high as you can. But while you go high, hold my hand and pull me up higher with you in my lane, or inspire me in my lane. But so many of us are not into raising our frequency. We're usually trying to hold people down to the lower frequencies in which we exist. So that's why I say not everyone is vibrating on the same frequency. You see, in this world, most people are driven by the lower desires, but we dress it up. We dress it up to use it as a camouflage to enter in somebody else's energy field, somebody else's world, and we usually show our ass. But lots of times when we are looking to gain something from that person or those people or the organization or whatever, you know, we keep it quelled, we keep it under wraps. But there's always somebody there that if you're not operating on the proper frequency, guess what? They're going to peep you. They're going to see. They're going to see a chink in your cheap, ineffective armor. Because armor, real, true armor only works for the righteous. Spiritual armor only works for the righteous who are really about this thing. But you can put on the whole armor, but it's not going to be the whole armor because it's thin. It's a knockoff. It's like when you go to the auto parts store to get a copy of a part that you need for, let's say, example, a Toyota, a Lexus, an Audi. Audi sells its own genuine parts. And you think you're going to save money by going down to the Strauss store or what's the other store they have there in Florida? I forget. I've been there in years. It feels good to say that too. And they offer the same exact part. You look and it looks like the same exact part, but it's not a factory part. It's a knockoff. You put it in your vehicle. Hey, I got over. I didn't have to pay $139 for it. I paid $59 for it, and I made a bunch of savings. And after a while, that part falls apart or falters. And now you got to either go back to get the fake one that you know is not going to last, or go back to the factory and get the real thing. I'm interested right now in simply being the real thing. I think this dead cat that I have, it kind of absorbs the sound. It's real furry. If you ever see those things and it goes over. So I think this part of the screen has a little blockage, but it doesn't matter. You know, the sun is fabulous out here. Let me scroll up on the chat because I'm not touching the chat on this phone. It's too sensitive. It may just knock me off of the stream or take me somewhere else. Okay, Landon, you said live rooftop, loving it. I'm going to do this more and more. As a matter of fact, you want to do something fun? I'm going to take myself up, right? And I'm going to turn this around. It's on a tripod. I just want to give you a view. I'm going to really be daring. Why not? We dare to be great to get it here to this point. Let's do a little more. Now, there's nothing much. This is like the main road is the industrial part of the city. We're on the edge. We're actually in the eastern region of Ghana, right? But 2 blocks down is technically Accra. So while people will say, hey, this is Accra, technically we're 2 blocks up from the border from Accra. But you can't tell anybody this is not Accra. This is Ghana. Accra's down the road. So this is the beginning of the eastern region. And when you see the mountain ranges that go further down, I don't know how the clarity on this camera would be, but you can't really see anything on the phone. And we'll get back to the message, but we're going to have some fun. Let me get up. Let me show you something here. I'll show you something here. All right, this is real fun. Now the sun is against me shining. You always keep the sun in your face when you're recording something. But I'm gonna turn it around so you can see the mountain ranges. Right? I don't know if this is angled too far up or too far down, but you see the mountain ranges all the way down for miles, hundreds of miles. And that's where the SCURV Bat Cave is. That's where the SCURV Bat Cave is going to be. You see, they're building this apartment building with nothing but cinder blocks, solid, all the way up. Over here, you might see better. You know, me wave at Victoria down there. I don't think she can see me. Nah, she can't. You see the kids coming in from school, right? Beautiful, beautiful. This is real, y'all. I always try new things, and I think this is going to be something that works out. So let me just try to see if I can turn it back around. It's the same exact angle that I had it, you know, but you only see so much, right? Okay. All right, we're back. Now, mind you, like again, if this cuts out and blanks out or freezes up, it's because the camera overheated. Next time, I know to put a moist little something around the user rubber bands to catch the rays. This probably will overheat. So that being said, I promised another live tonight, just in case. And I have other stuff coming up right after this. And this is a good day for me. I'm so happy. And I'm still going to have time to get out in the sun a little bit. Even though right now it should be 3:14. So it's 10:14 for those on the East Coast. But anyway, and I really, look, I am so excited. I'm so happy. I have to say that. I'm so happy to be in this zone. There's no speed bumps in the way. The negative trash has been cleaned out of my life. And I'm just excited. I don't know. It's just like I just got here. I know I've been here. But it's like discovering wings that you never had, right? They're always there. But you discover them and like you can fly easy. And now I'm up in the wind. I don't even have to flap no more. Just put your arms out like the birds, just chilling. And just float. Just tilt a little bit if you want to go that way. Tilt a little bit if you want to go this way. That's the way life has to be when you're doing everything right, when you're looking to clean your life out, clean yourself out, clean your thoughts up, and seek a higher level. But then again, not everybody's on the same frequency, right? So we have people who around us who are frauds, who are feigning as though they're on a higher level of thinking. In just the same way, we have a lot of people around us who don't look like they're on a higher level. And we assess them. I'm not going to say judge, because judging, well, yeah, we judge them because judging is when you don't know. But when we do assess them, we find different. You know, most of the time, the way my face is held because I'm deep in thought, I'm not a mean guy. I can be mean. And I'm learning to be mean, to torch off and get rid of those entities that mean me no well. Even when they act, I don't know what, I didn't do anything to him. I don't know why. I don't know why he would treat me this way. I've never done anything to him, but I see in the future you plan that. I see what's in your heart. So why wait? You got a gun ready to come shoot me, and you're hanging out with me, walking around, whatever. I'm gonna wait till we get to the alley. I'm gonna knock you in your head and bust your head open, knock you out and take that gun. You have the intentions of doing this. So why am I gonna waltz around life with you knowing you have those intentions? Go right after it. You know how they say grandmothers, you know, on the stove top, when they were making the kitchen, when they were making the chicken in the kitchen, and they would take the chicken, right? And all the little hairs you don't see, hold it over the flame on the stove and burn the hairs off. Well, you got to burn those entities off from around you. They're hanging on for dear life. They got a smile on their face. They're saying wonderful things. But when you know that you know that you know that you know, you get rid of them. And oftentimes, a lot of times, they will know that you know and just bow out. Like, I don't want to get into a confrontation with this guy because this guy's too crazy. He might reveal some things. Let me just go. Okay. Job well done. But the main thing, you want to be aspiring to vibe at a higher frequency and reach for this thing. So the people who are vibrating higher than you understand that you're trying to go higher and you're not toxic because you might be on a lower level of awareness. It's not a crime to be on a lower level of awareness. What the crime is to be on that lower level of awareness, to know that you're on that lower level of awareness, and guess what? You're happy by being there. Because your life should change exponentially from year to year. And like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday. Yeah, I did. I'm gonna say it again. Boxing, 12 rounds to a championship fight. Used to be 15, but they changed the 12 to fit in within an hour. 48 minutes for the fight. 3 minutes, 1 minute for rest. So 4 times 12 is 48. You got time for the commercials. You got time for the advertisements and the little interviews and the after interview. But 12 rounds. January was the first round. I won that round. This is February 1st. I'm going to win this round. I'm going to win every round of this fight. I'm going to win every round, every month of this year. I have to ascend to a new level. I have to extend. I have to expand. If I was content doing what I did the way I did it, I wouldn't be on the rooftop doing a live, right? So for those who like the rooftops, will say, I'm not feeling it as much. I'm not going to do this all the time. I'm going to keep you guessing, because now I can go elsewhere and do a live. You know what I mean? I can go down where the crowds are, which I could always do, but I'm going to start really expanding, and the things that have been shared with me that I'm going to incorporate now that are a lot different, right? So we got to be willing to always and desiring to always go higher, and understand that those who are with you, who seem to be, you don't have to look at them and wonder. It will come to you. You don't have to watch them and say, I wonder if they're vibrating on a higher frequency. I wonder if they are sincere. They could be going through things on a personal level and become very human at certain points. It doesn't mean you have to write them off. They could be going through stuff, you know. Oh, okay, the chat room is moving. I see Reese Oyala, Sister Oyala, my beautiful sister, double A vibes. But I don't want to touch the screen. Yo, I touch it, it may knock me off or something, right? We're going to leave it that way. So it's not your mission, because the divine, some say the Most High, some say the Creator, some say the universe, whatever you want to, whoever made this thing we're in, because we're not that brilliant. We came out like babies. We were dependent then, but where were we before we got here? Something was prepared for us. So just like we're on this level and we don't know what tomorrow brings, we don't know the exact time that we're going to transition, I don't worry about it. But the bottom line is that I know that there's something prepared for me in this order. Whether you want to say it's a karmic thing where I'm going to get what I deserve, or one size fits all, we all get the same chance, I don't know. I just want to get better. I want to vibrate higher. And I brought some water because I knew my lips were going to get dry. Hold on a second while I drink. And this breeze up here, maybe you can hear it. I hope you don't hear it too much, but it is so that you can sit out in this hot sun and not really sweat. I'm a little moist in my skin, of course, but whew, sweet feeling, sweet feeling. Coming to you live from Accra, Ghana, or just 2 blocks over the Accra borderline. And I'm not up in the tree sleeping. There are no lions biting up the kids. You have a couple of snakes up in the mountains or where they're, but you watch out for those. I tell you, these snakes down here don't play. You got black mambas. That is the most lethal snake in the world. Mrs. SCURV was in the backyard one time doing her thing, as she's doing right now, up at the house, and she saw a little one. She didn't know what it was, but one of the workers came by and killed it. That's a black mamba. Black mamba, you got what? Either 60 seconds or not an hour, but it's quick. Once it bites you, so you got to get these walls up, make sure high, so it stays where it is. But it's not like it's super common. They don't come around you like that. It was a baby one. And then you have the python, then you have this, you have that. But other than that, Mosquito bites you the wrong way, you get a little malaria, whatever. But I had that. You'll experience that with me. I almost died. But I know how to live. I know what to do now, you know, and I've been good ever since. But like I was saying, the cream always rises to the top. And in your ascension, you will have people who quietly are in your corner. Some who act friendly, call themselves friends, and they want you to fail so bad. But they'll never show that. But you'll notice things. But people like this, they're really neutral while you're in your glory, while you receive your accolades and your awards that are not necessarily worldly, but just personal achievements. They're not happy for you. There's somebody that many of us here know. I showed him for the first time one of my pieces of artwork. And his initial reaction, which told me what his character was about, he just looked at it. Yeah, that's all right. He was pissed, but he couldn't hide it. Why did he have that reaction? And regularly, more red flags came up where I was braced for the ultimate when his envy came out. Brilliant person. Great. Out there still, but the real him came through. And it hurt. It really hurt. Because I thought it was the real thing and I thought the people would benefit from that, but no, not that spirit. I'm not going to promote that. But you have these people who are not really happy for you, but they're happy to help you and be that friend in their deeds when you're down. You ever notice that? They'll take you to get something to eat. They'll stay up all night while you talk your stuff and reveal to them what you're going through in detail. They'll come over and spend the night. They'll give you money. Even when you have it, no, take this. I want you to have a little extra because I want to do this for you. To extract the downtrodden place that you're in because they're collecting data. They're actually feeling good while you're down. And you don't know that. You're saying, oh my God, what a good friend this is. What a good friend this is. But as you come up out of that rut, whether it's a physical thing, a sickness, a mental thing, you broke up with somebody, a spiritual thing, you were discouraged by something that happened, you didn't get what you thought that you deserved, whatever it may be, but you're coming up out of it, you're happy, the prospects are looking great, your potential is at an all-time high, and now all of a sudden, and you call them up because you feel this person's your great friend, and you tell them the good news about this opening and opportunity that came out for you, and guess what? Those conversations don't last as long. Those conversations don't last as long as when you thought you were on your last leg, when you were destroyed after that breakup, when you had a financial issue so strong that the only way, like you took overdraft protection as part of your budget. Like, well, I know I'm going to go on overdraft, but I need that $500. That's how bad things are. And people don't know, but you have those few who know. Because if they were vibing on the same frequency, you wouldn't have to go through these subtle revelations that you receive because of that time. They're there to encourage you and be consistent even when they're going through stuff. And they love you no matter what you have going on as far as your inner struggles to achieve and get better. I was never a cokehead. I was never a crackhead. I never did drugs at all. Didn't hardly like take an aspirin or cough syrup, right? I never was into crime. I cracked a few people and knocked a few people out in my day that tried to do something to me. I'm not a bully, but I will defend myself. Even if somebody's saying the worst thing to me and I know I can beat them, I'm not going to do that. But if you put your hand on me, I'm going to knock you out. Not even fight. I'm going to knock you out. I'm known to do that. I can do that. You can knock me out too, but I'm gonna get there first. But everybody knows what my Achilles heel has been. And there are people that I've known down through the years that they want to see me back in that place. They love to hear the stories back in the day. You're back in your 20s, and well, what did she say? What did she do? What did the other girl do? Wow, y'all did that. What? They love that because they feel you're trapped. But whatever it is that has been your Achilles heel, and you defeat it, and you overcome it, I mean, anything good too much is bad for you. Eating too much, you need to nourish yourself, but you eat too much is bad for you. Now I see my screen freezing up. I don't know if it's the heat. Okay, I think we're still good. but they take pleasure in titillating you to bring you back into that place where that thing that you enjoyed so much, that's maybe natural, but you were in it too much and you neglected other parts of your life. They want you trapped. They want you in that space because they see so much potential. They see so many seeds of greatness on the inside of you that they know if you take your attention off of your vice and really focus in on the greatness inside of you, you'll pass them by. But you're not thinking about passing them by. This is how people think. You ever notice? I'm gonna tell you. I was speaking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them, I said, you watch how a person drives, and that would tell you a lot about their personality. Well, here's somebody driving in the middle lane. There's 3 lanes on the highway. They're driving in the middle lane. They're going 40 miles an hour, and here you go 55 miles an hour. You didn't pass them fast, but you're in the fast lane. They're in their lane. They should be doing their thing. As soon as you get right next to them and start to move up, they mash the gas. And to test them, you go from 55 to 65. The speed limit is 70. And here they come, 65 miles an hour next to you. They were at the speed they were, and as soon as you came, this is not an upgrade for them. They just don't want you to pass them by. They don't want you to pass them by. I'm not in a race with anybody. I'm very intense in what I do within myself. Nobody made me come up to the roof with the phone on the tripod and do a live up here. I just thought that up. I was like, I can do that. I have the right mics to go into the and everything. Why not do it? I got a little grip that holds everything in the right place. Why not? I'm having fun. This is an option in the future. If you say, Lance, tomorrow do a rooftop on the roof, I'm like, okay, no problem. Lance, go here and do a rooftop. Lance, go there. But when I get back to the beach, what you think? I'm gonna go right there where everybody's walking past me, right? Have the sun facing. I'm gonna go to the beach, make it more interesting. Whoever wants to join in, hey, come over here. Let me talk to the camera for a second. Let's have fun. Let's get our message going. Let's have fun. Let's approach things from a different angle. Fulfill your potential. Go higher. People who act as though they're on a high frequency, but they're not, they never go higher. They don't try to go higher because they're sitting here looking at you sideways. Who he think he is? He ain't nothing. That old cheap, broken down Chinese phone he got. No, I found out that the 2 iPhones that Mr. SCURV brought out here, they were slightly used, family members, but they were an upgrade for me. Couldn't use them because we didn't remember the email and the passcode. They didn't either. So I had to get this phone, and it's malfunction. I'm gonna get another phone soon, but that's life. But you take what you got, don't complain, and use it to go higher. That's what you gotta do. I got no time to even focus on anybody else about what they're doing. If they tell me doing, oh man, how do you do that? It may be a different lane, but guess what? If you're on the same positive frequency, you'll get inspiration from that person. If you have 2 restaurants and a bakery, and there's one restaurant that's doing really good and it's a steakhouse, and the next restaurant might be a vegan spot, 2 different types of food, and that bakery, and they're both, the bakery and the vegan spot, are sitting down with the owner of the steakhouse. And they're drawing inspiration from the owner of the steakhouse. Doesn't mean that the bakery's going to start selling steak, or the vegan spot's going to turn into a meat-eating, carnivore festival. But you can talk about the business end of the things and the strategies and the struggles and what you learn from the struggles and apply them to other things. So this is why my mind is there's always something to think about, and I have no time for the lower frequencies. And this is why when people who walk this way, who act righteous, I will cuss you out to get you away from me. Stay away from me, because this is what I'm into, and I know my days are limited, but I'm not focusing on it. But I don't want to waste no more time, y'all. I don't want to waste no more time. If you want to waste time just kicking back and laying down like a maggot, or just rolling over all the dirt and the slime and the nastiness, you go ahead and do that. Now, if there's something you need to tell me that's going to keep me from falling into a pothole that I don't see, that's not gossip. That's warning me. My close circle will say, hey, Lance, this person here, and I've been finding out a whole lot of sneaky stuff around the platform. That's why you got to go. You can act nice as you want to and holy and all that stuff, but you's a snake. You got to go. I have no problem doing that because I'm not going to keep anything in my ranks. Not that I'm the captain, I'm the servant. The ranks are the people who I serve, who help me. So I'm not on some old power trip, like I'm the one on top. And no, I work amongst people because we learn from each other. We serve each other. We help each other. But if you're not with that, you ain't getting nothing out of me no more. You have to understand that you have your life, and your life was given to you by your creator. And you have the right to defend your peace of mind. You have your right, or the right, to pick whatever you want off of the menu of life as far as what you want to do. As long as your creator signs off on it, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But you doing this in a very intense way intimidates those who are the frauds because they know they can't keep up with you because they're not committed as you. They're not as sincere as you. They want the accolades. They want the praise, but they don't want to get down in the dirt with the shovel and pull up the dirt to make that foundation for that mighty building that's going up that nobody sees. That's the difference. Are you willing to put in the work? I know I am. And it's not, I'm not any better because I do. This is my passion. A whole lot of things. I don't even have enough time in the day. Every night, I say I'm going to get to bed by this time. And I'm still falling asleep, pushing around. Okay, let me go to bed now. But that's my rhythm. That's my rhythm. I just want to say something else too. I was going to make a separate video about it, but I'm already at the rooftop, right? I could talk about other things. I got a long list of things that came from the heart that I could talk about, things that pop in my head, things that pop in my head that I forget about quick because other things are there. And I'm just grabbing stuff from the sky. Creator just gives me, talk about this, talk about this, talk about this. Tie this together. But one thing, I've been known to always stay up late. And people say, well, you keep doing that, you go wreck your health. And I understand that because there's certain times you have to be in the bed that focus on the certain internal organs. I've said this when I learned this. It was from a National Geographic magazine about 2 or 3 years ago. And it basically said, no matter what, your liver, your kidneys, your heart, your spleen, your bladder, your brain, your this, your lungs, they all have a designated time to be cleansed. So if, let's just make this up. You can find the sequence, and I want to find that article, but let's just make this up to prove the point. Say your kidneys must be, and this is after the sun goes down, you must be, laying down, even if you're not sleeping, but you must be ready now for that whole night of sleep. Because now you're taking yourself to the Tuneup Center. Let's just say 8 o'clock. The kidneys are dealt with. They're cleansed. They're rested. Whatever's wrong with them because of the day or accumulation, it's being dealt with. And then say it moves on at 9 o'clock to the liver. And from 9 to 10, you're dealing with the liver. Then you move on to the bladder. That's how it works all night long. And right before the sun comes up, you're done. And with the brain, I don't know the technical names, right? But you have sections of the brain, right? And with those sections of the brain, in the daytime, like say I'm putting up 2 fists together, but it's not a fist. It's a section of the brain, right? In the daytime, it's like this, closed, right? You're working your brain. But at nighttime, at that designated time, between those sections of the brain that begins to open up, I'm going to open my hands really wide to prove the point. Now, while it's opened up, there's a certain fluid that goes between the sections of the brain and all the tiny sections, not just the main ones, and cleans it out. And then when you wake up, those parts close back in again so it can function and everything's good. It's almost like when you clean in a room, you move the coffee table over, pull the couch out, or in the kitchen, you pull the refrigerator out, you realize I should have pulled the refrigerator out. It's February already, and Thanksgiving is food that dropped up under there, cheese all dried up, dusty stuff, dead bugs, they were picking out. Like, what the heck? So this is how we're supposed to react with the sun. 12 noon, wherever 12 noon is in the world, that is when your digestive system is at its strongest. So you want to amplify your life. And look at me saying this, that I go to bed 4 and 5 in the morning. I'm going to stop that And when I stop, that is when the house is done. I'm just going to say it. And that'll be soon. Right now, I'm free flowing around the city with the people, whatever. Up there, it's really going to be on and popping because there's no distractions. Not that I'm distracted down here, but the one thing I want to say, if you do have a late schedule and you cannot get into bed on those times and work with the sun, because that's my next thing, is to work along with the sun. And even when I take a nap in the afternoon, at that time, it's going to be out on the balcony in the sun. It's going to be sun on me all day long. From when it ultimately, now it's not going to always work out that way. I may have something to do inside, but the more sun you can get on your body, the better. And then, even though that's a physical thing, it'll elevate you higher and higher and higher. So that is my goal. But the one trick is not a trick. When you wake up after being up late, don't just jump up. There may be an emergency. There may be something you're late for that you should have prepared to get enough sleep. But don't get up out of the bed. If you have that luxury that day, a day off, or maybe if you are working, you get to bed on time. So if you have to leave the house at 7 o'clock, you wake up at 4 and you have 2 hours later if you want. You have yourself to yourself. That's the main thing. Phones ring, people ring doorbells, but you've got to be centered at all times to execute these moves. If you're a fighter, if you're a boxer, a split second being off can mean the difference between you getting knocked out and you winning the fight. When these guys are so in tune with themselves that, you see, we see it on TV, we think the punch is missed by a mile. You have deadly blows levied at you that you're so trained out of your peripheral vision for a split second, you know to pull back here and there. You know Muhammad Ali, when you saw him, he was gifted this way. But you can't be afraid of being in the battle and things going over your head quick, close, because you've worked yourself to being so in tune. Now I'm talking physical, but I mean on a spiritual level, on a discernment level, that all kinds of turmoil can be going on around you and you're just as cool as could be because you have your directives on what you have to do. This is why it's important to lay in the bed. Today, I woke up and I'm gonna tell you, and it wasn't being lazy. I'm retired, I have the luxury of doing that. But some people do and they still bash themselves up. I could have got up at a certain time. I laid there in the bed for 2 hours and I dozed off a little bit, woke up, stared out the window. I let my brain come back to what it should be before I get up. Because when you wake up by an alarm clock, which they're useful, if you have to go to work, you can't say, well, boss, supervisor, I was laying there for 2 hours just to get my brain right. They're like, listen, you do that 2 more times, you out of a job. But when you do, whether it's an hour, 30 minutes, or even 10 minutes you lay in the bed, whatever time, and you don't even know the time, you're going to lay there until, if you have that luxury. When you finally come into yourself and your brain is right and your eyesight is clear and you can breathe, and you're like, whoa, you feel the strength coming over you, the appetite hits you to get up something and break that fast. Now you can get more done than if you got up 2 hours earlier. Some people will say, oh, you lost 2 hours. No, you didn't. You become more efficient in those 2 hours. And if it's 3 hours that you have to lay down in, fine, let it be that. Let it be that. But you have to have yourself right from within. And all of these people who are not on your frequency will do things covertly to keep you off of ascending because they know that they don't even want to go higher or they even could go higher because they're not taking the time to meditate. It doesn't mean you do this meditation where you put your palms up and you go out into the park and you peeking to see who's watching you. Or you go somewhere where people can see, oh, he's meditating, he's a deep person, but you're only putting on a damn show. You can be sitting on the daggone toilet with your dress or your pants around your ankles, meditating as you push out the feces. I'm not trying to be lewd, I'm just telling you what it is. So my whole day, even in public, I could be around crowds. I'm in that zone, ascending. I'm seeing people for who they are. And you're vibrating high. And you see that person who walks down the street who you don't know and you lock eyes and you smirk and you nod. Well, everybody's looking around at what they see as far as the physical bodies, looking at the ground to see if anybody dropped any money. You know, carnal, looking at you because the shoes you got on are nice and they don't like that. I got this nice little leather bag that I got from America. Brought it out here, and it's my laptop bag. I'm walking down the street and people looking at the bag. What, you mad at me because of a bag? So if I handed you this bag and gave it to you, would you look at the bag? No, you're looking at it because you don't have it. Stop looking at people for what they don't have, or what you don't have, what they have. Do you have yourself? Most of these people don't even have themselves. They don't even know themselves. I'm comfortable in my skin. I don't have to be intimidated by a camera and everybody watching. This is not an attention grab. I'm talking to myself and sharing it with you because I know you guys are on this frequency. I don't have to put on that, yes, this is LANCESCURV Productions and I am this and that. No. I'm very relaxed. So when you're fighting, the more relaxed you are, anybody who's a fighter knows when you're relaxed in that ring, you can execute what you've learned and accrued over the years as far as skill and technique. But if I'm not relaxed and I'm fake, I'm not saying people who stutter are fake. It's not for everybody to sit up in front of a crowd and talk to people. I don't care if it's millions of people. I'm going to sit here and be myself. I remember the Weather Girls, It's Raining Men. They called themselves 2 Tons of Fun. They used to sing under Sylvester. This was in August of 1983. They have a Harlem Week celebration all throughout Manhattan. And so it's a black thing. Dancers, speakers, food, culture, all week long at different locations. And right in front of City Hall, there was a big platform built. I'm looking for that City Sun newspaper that has a photo of me with the 2 Tons of Fun, but that paper's been done a long time ago. It'll pop up. There were news, all the news and their media was there. I might have to, I don't know the exact date, but anyway, it happened. If you don't believe me, then, you know, hey, I'm not trying to prove anything. So they needed like 2 or 3 bodybuilders to come out there and pose next to them while they sung It's Raining Man and some other songs that they sung. And I remember that stage, that August afternoon. It was around noon. It was noon. It was lunchtime. And I looked out, and you know, around City Hall in Manhattan, they got the yard, the big whatever, the streets going all the way down. The World Trade Center was there, and everything was almost a miniature version of the Million Man March. And here I am in this little bikini, and it was a hot sun. And I remember the stage, the wooden stage it was makeshift, looked nice, that they were performing on. That bad boy was hot. And I looked over to the other 2 guys that were posing. We were all moving around, the girls and everything. And they had on slippers. They were smart. Me and my bare feet. And I'm hitting shots, hitting poses or whatever. And I'm like, ooh, my feet almost blistered. But what I'm saying is that I knew I was right in my body. I knew I was in shape. So I had no problem. In front of anybody, you could have been more developed than me, but I knew for that point in time, I was the best I could be. And when you are, in whatever your area of expertise is, you have no worries. You're completely confident. But you know what? There'll be those who, in that instance, it was my body. Those who acted as though they were in an envious thing. Like there were some guys around there, we were signing autographs and taking pictures with a lot of people. Didn't even know us. We weren't big like that, like when we were known, but like, oh man, it wasn't as common as it is today. There were some guys walking by, yeah, man, but I heard them guys got little dicks. Yeah, man, I heard them guys, all of them are gay, whatever. You're always going to get that. The flash forward 10, 20 years, they're probably in the gym. Oh, I got to get in shape. But their ignorance and envy, not for what you've developed, but your confidence. They don't want you to be confident. They're not confident. So they think you're operating out of that, and they will call it cockiness. You think you're all that. No, it's not that I think I'm all that. You know that you're not all that in whatever area you're supposed to be in. Doesn't mean you're supposed to be in my area. Maybe you're supposed to be. Could have helped you. You know what I mean? We help each other along. But there are people like that, and I have no time to assess that. When you're at a track store and you're running on that track and that gun goes off, you can't say, hold up, everybody. Let me see if my jealous uncle by the house is. No, you put everything aside and you have tunnel vision and you stay connected with yourself and you all know all the training that you did and all the drills, and it comes automatic. I've gotten into fights in the street as a grown man. My last one was when I was driving the bus. And I would say it was early 2019 or late 2018. And this guy wanted to get on the bus, and he had on shorts. You can't go in there barefoot. You can't have a shirt off. And he was under the influence. And he came up close to me. I closed the doors. I was standing there. I was parked. I had time on the layover. And down there, they let people on the bus and they sit down. But he wanted to get, I couldn't let him on. So I knew this guy was going to be prime. So I'm standing there and I feel something behind me. I'm like, yo, what is this guy goosing me? I'm going to say it the real way, goosing me on my ass. I mean, he got up on me. Hey, what the hell? I turned around. He got behind. I'm like, yo, I pushed my arm out. I said, man, keep away from me, man. Keep off of me. And so I kept my eye on him. So I put my back up against the bus. Then this young lady that I know, don't know her personally, but I know she goes to school. She's quiet. She's decent. I like that. Here, you can go on and sit down. So he came and walked up. I closed the doors again. So I opened the doors and I stood in front of the door. This dude comes to tackle me. He came and he ran at me so hard. This guy wasn't no little guy either. I was like, oh man, I don't want to fight nobody. I'm on my job in uniform. The Supervisor Goof was over there, but they were up in there on a laptop watching porn, so they weren't watching me. I found that out later on. So I don't know to do moves, and I'm some trained fighter, whatever. But when I know something's about to jump off, time moves slow. So if somebody's throwing a punch at me, it's coming like this. You know what I mean? I can assess what's going on, and I'm like, I know what to do. I have a natural sense of balance. Y'all know that. You see I ride the unicycle, and I'm going to do that on my 60th birthday. I'm going to get some videotape going and ride all around. I'm going to try to learn my old tricks again. But I don't feel good on that bike, like the old Schwinn that I have. Maybe I have to get another one ordered, but I'm going to do it. So anyway, as he got to me, I pushed him down more, got on him, got under his armpits, and threw him back on the bus, put him on the bus, pushed his head down, and then I grabbed him and leaned into him so his neck was, I said, listen, either you're going to deal with some peaceable or peaceful dialogue or you're not going to breathe too much, brother. And I leaned my 240 pounds on him. So I got the best of him, but how I shifted him to that point happened automatic because I'm very much aware of my body. I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I'm still damn strong. It's not about strong as strength and doing what you got to do when something comes at you because you've been trained for that. That's what I really want to say. Because I can be knocked down too. I can be knocked out. I can be beat up too. So I'm not walking around on ego. But this is how you have to be prepared in life. You have to rehearse certain things or near misses to say, you know what? This could have been a disaster. How would I have handled it if this was this way? Because you're going to have people of different frequencies around you that you don't know what's really on the inside of them. And I don't have the time to figure everybody out. So this is why I'd rather pull myself away and fly free. You see that flock of birds flying together, bumping into each other. You see that one bird way up in the sky, just wings out and just chilling. And that's the way you want to be. So understand, when you feel drained, you don't feel up to par all the way, something's draining you. It's just like I saw it in Polk County, Florida. What was it? What was the place there? Winter Haven. It was in Winter Haven in Polk County. There's a certain side of it that was just country. I swear. Some of those houses like old slave shacks. I'm not putting them down, but it's the land that time forgot. And it was so dead on certain streets. They were, as I drove down the street, there were dogs sitting there chilling in the middle of the street. And it's so boring and so dead, they forgot that's a street where cars come through. Dog was looking at me. I honked him, and he got up and like wanted to give me the paw. You know what I mean? People waving. Like, man, this is a big event. Somebody new coming down the street. But I saw one house, and the house was a nice house. And there was another house that you can tell it was really dilapidated and downtrodden, but people lived in it. And from that house, there was a long orange extension cord going to one of the plugs in the house of the nice house. And on the nice house, I saw newspapers piled up, mail in the mailbox jammed in there. So evidently they weren't around. So these people took advantage and said, okay, we're going to grab some power because we probably didn't pay our bill. Hopefully the people will stay on vacation for a whole month until we get our check. But this is the way it happens on a spiritual level. You have some that smile, but they're waiting to get their plug-in on you because they're not on the same frequency. And the other thing that I've learned, stop being so nice in general. I'm nice to everybody. I'm throwing it out there. Yes, be nice to a point. But there's some people who keep pulling from you, In the minute you say, hey, I'm a little tired, I need to rest, I gotta do something else, they get mad at you. So it shows you their true intentions. Man, this water's running down. My lips are getting all chapped up looking. I notice when I'm on camera, I start drinking water like I'm tarted. Drinking the water, all falling out the side of my mouth. What the hell's wrong with me? Let me put this over here. But this is real nice up here. The phone didn't black out yet on me. We got to do this more often. And I'm not going to cut it short now. We're going to go a few more minutes. The sun is really getting me now, so I can't even see my image all the way. But it worked out fine. I can't wait to see how this turns out, what I need to improve on and everything, and how to make it better. Let me see something here. I can hardly see this here. Let me see something. Let me take a chance here. Let's take a chance here. There's something I want to see if it can work. Okay, there it is. Let's see. Okay. It's a little better up in the corner for identification purposes. I can't really see it because you can see the sun is really beating down, and this is a healthy thing. I'm doing a show and I'm getting my melanin tuned up and absorbing the rays and enjoying life. Like I said, the mountain range over there, beautiful thing. In the nighttime, the houses that are on top of the mountain. I mean, I've gone 1/4 of the way up that mountain there, and the views. Like, could you imagine being on top of that mountain where there's nothing around you and you can see? So it's got to be frightening in a good way. Me and Mr. SCURV took a walk up the mountain, up the trail. When I got to a certain point, and I was like, oh, it's time to turn around. Something just told me to do that. That's another story, and I'll follow through with that later on. But frequencies and vibrations and all of these words, you know, we don't know what's around us. We can feel it. And if you don't know anything else from this particular stream, all I'll say is trust your gut. Trust your intuition. When you see something in someone, you're not looking at it in a condescending way where I'm perfect and I'm judging everybody. Because like I said, judging is when you don't know. When you have that ruler, when you have that law book, if a cop pulls you over and they have the radar gun, right? And they say, man, you're doing 84 in a 35 mile per hour zone. No, I wasn't. You can't say that he's guessing. He has the actual tool. If I say measure the distance, or what's the approximate distance from here to that wall right there, you say about 10.5. Somebody else said, nah, it's not 9. We get the ruler, there's no argument, because we know the ruler, in this instance, is a well-trained spirit of discernment. And I don't mean saying you have it and being wrong with what you see. And even you can have a strong spiritual discernment, but you can't really figure out what's in front of you because they got so many smoke screens up. Then don't go rush to judgment. Put that one on hold. Like that state exam that you take and the question is a little too hard. They tell you, if you have a hard question, don't spend 20 minutes on it. Put it to the side, go answer the other ones, and then come back. That way you don't have to rush the other ones and possibly get them wrong, right? That's the way it is. So this is how we have to operate in this world. I just touched something, and I'm not going to mess with any music today. I'm not going to do it, Joe. I'm not going to do it. But this has really been a nice experience to kind of do something different. And my imagination is running wild, and I just want to say that right now, and I always say this, sometimes, you know, I feel drained. Sometimes I feel down, not down depressed, but down where it's time for me to be down. And I don't mean down depressed, but down to give myself that maintenance, to assess what's going on inside of me. Not, oh, I'm just depressed, I don't know what I'm doing. And some people who are, my heart goes out to you. But I have mastered myself from a very, very long time. And before I get to that point of depression, I back up. I'm like, I'm not going to exhaust myself anymore and bring myself in a state of being inoperable on a mental, physical, spiritual level just to push a little more. No, I'll back up, rest, assess, tune up, run a little test track to make sure I'm good, and then I come right back. The main thing is that when you get knocked down, you come right back. You come back when you can come back. Don't prove anything to anybody. Again, it's like a fighter. You have the standing 8 count, where if you get knocked down, if it's not really bad, and the referee feels that with a standing 8 count you can clear your head, they let you. And what you do, you're supposed to take the whole count. You don't get up at 2 and run back to the fight, because now you didn't really get your head cleared up all the way. You take the full count. Or, like they say, when you get knocked down, he's counting over you. And if your gloves or your knee are touching, that's a knockout. Technical knockout. So there are smart fighters that take the time they need to recuperate before foolishly rushing in. So when you get into a small argument or disagreement with somebody, you don't want to go all the way. If it's something you can't avoid, you back up, assess it, clear your head, go back with a better strategy. Sometimes in some fights, you just have to rip through the person, though. Like Marvin Haggler when he fought Hearns, those 3 rounds, which was some of the, if you had to pick one fight, you know, there's a lot of good fights out there. That is the one. Thomas Hearns and Marvin Haggler, 3 minutes. Hearns came out dropping, and these are skilled fighters. They came out slugging. And Haggler, whether it was from a butt or a punch, I think it was from a right hand from Hearns, there was blood over his eye. And he knew that even though Tommy Hearns was fresh and was the 3rd round, he came out knowing that he had to end it. Sometimes your back is up against the wall and you don't have the time to assess anything. You got to do what you got to do now. It's nice to go around the mountain. It's nice to go over a mountain. It's nice to dig under and go. And sometimes you're going to go right through and drill through that mountain in front of you. Not all the time. But you have to have that resolve inside of you to be able to do that. If not, it's really, sometimes you have to just do it. You know, show them what you got. Dig deep. Sometimes you can't finesse it. Sometimes you can't find the words to be diplomatic. Sometimes you got to ball up your fist. 2 or 3 dudes around you, and we just going to have to fight. And me, I'm not going to run. I do the opposite. Like the time when I was in corrections and they had a little, not a riot, but it was a whole gang of guys fighting. They opened up the doors so I can run out, and it took a chance because those guys could have ran out too. I ran to the corner, inside, just like I'm now, right at the corner. You know why? Because if there's a gang of guys coming at you and you stand in the middle, they can hit you from behind, they can hit you from this side, they can get you from everywhere. But if you come into the corner, it's only 90 degrees within your sight that they can come get you. And the whole crowd can't come into the same corner. So now you have to come within this area, and I'm watching you. You'll get it. The closest one who comes is the one who gets it until I'm done, right? But you're protecting yourself. You can also brace up against the wall if you have to kick. You can also use the wall as a weapon. If they come too close, smash their head on the wall. See, a lot of us are so nice that we forget how to go into battle mode, right? And the battle mode, you better have a killer instinct. You're not looking to murder anybody. You may not be a killer of sorts. That's not you. But if somebody is coming to kill your spirit, kill your enthusiasm, kill the higher vibration that you have, higher vibrational people can kick somebody's ass too. And I suggest it, because you're going to have to defend that thing inside of you. Don't count on me being genteel all the time. Don't count on me not going there. I will go there to get the job done if you're infringing on my peace of mind. I'm going to try to talk. I'm going to try to be diplomatic. I'm going to try to say things that you use. I don't know what about. Well, okay, violate again and watch what happens. You're going to see a whole different side of me. And I've been guilty of that. And people will keep on walking over you and use your higher frequencies against you. Well, I can't do that. I think different. I'm a different kind of person than that. No, sometimes you have to go down to the common denominator and don't think that you're less of a person, or don't think, well, I had to stoop down to their level. Well, that's the level in which they communicate, and you got to let them know. And then go on back up to the higher levels and be that person that the world knows you to be. This is LANCESCURV. Salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters. It's funny being up here, and I know that I'm live, you know? Because like I said, I got the camera ready to go and record, but I ran out of time. I said, you know what, let me just go live and try it out. Everything worked out fine. I want to see how the sound comes out, everything. And this is where killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, I'm going to go downstairs and work on stuff and still probably come up here and talk about something else because the sun is just so nice. I want to do a little walk with the camera and everything. And don't be surprised sometime this week or next week, maybe next week, but I want to roll the time back a little bit, maybe 2 hours early, like to 8 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, 9, 8. I'll continue 10, but I want to hit everybody on their commute. It was better that way when I did those times, you know. But there'll be stuff all day long. There'll be stuff all day long. I have more stuff coming. I got more stuff on the computers working now. I'm gonna put up soon. So keep your eyes open. Be coming. Like again, I don't want to go and try to put music up, or maybe I should. Let me try it out. Cause see this old cheap phone. I got my internet right here, right? But sometimes it takes long to work, so I'll just trust hitting everything off. What I might do, not tomorrow, because I probably won't even go live outside. Maybe I will. I'm gonna bring my equipment up here where I can hit everything and have the good mic with the good sound and play music and sound bites and different things. And I gotta load up these sound bites and stuff and do some new graphics or whatever. There's always something to do. I don't have time to be, who do you think he is? No, I got a list of things to do. I don't have enough time in the day. I wish I could sit here and talk for the next 2 hours because y'all know I can. If you said, hey, put a gun to your head, talk for 6 hours, I'm like, okay, what's the subject? Where do you want me to start? I can do that. Because I'm going to talk on the phone. I'm going to talk to people. Miss SCURV come home from in the back of the house farming and doing all the stuff she does. Like I said, she has all the seeds known to man. That, to me, you know, I mean, she brought back so many seeds. I'm like, what kind of plants is this? Looks like an alien. So she's up here doing her thing because, like I said, things don't sprout overnight. The rainy season is coming. It's raining a little more because it's never like it's dry and boom, the rainy season. So it's not a summertime, wintertime here. It's a dry, wet thing here. We're coming into that period. So things shoot up, but things are still growing because there's still rain sometime in the dry season. You can water your stuff. So this is what makes it paradise. 0 latitude and 0 longitude. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let me hit this off. I'm not gonna put no music, you know. Yeah, she cooks rice and peas. I can see that part. I just glanced up there. But let me run, y'all. I'm gonna do some more work. I may not come on live like out here, but I want to do something later on live or record some things. And got a few more things I want to experiment with. And you'll see the results. But thank you so much for your support, for you spending the time here with me. I really enjoy myself. And like I said, this is really a sweet revelation to do it this way. Much more to come. And like I said, keep being positive and keep going to a higher frequency, but don't hesitate when you got to smack somebody and smack the taste out of their mouth, because that's all they know. Denominators are there for a reason. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go down a little lower, prove your point. Now, maybe if they understood the language properly, you can talk to them. But anyway, y'all, I'm just going to cold turkey hit this off. I don't want to take any chances. And I just hit this thing. Why did I hit this thing? Why am I so stubborn? Why am I so stubborn? I'm going to hit this banner on, and let's see what happens. Yeah, it should be coming on. Okay, I'm going to hit this mic on. I'm always messing with music and messing with this thing. When I do mess with it, it's like it's so hard to turn off. But I'm going to do it anyway, all right? So let's see how this goes. Boom. Let's put this here. All right. Stay on top, y'all. Don't let nothing get you down. Stay focused, with every day being a victory. Much love to you all. Peace.